Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff, and obviously by the title of this video, we're gonna be talking about these rumors or confirmed shit, and if it is confirmed, what do we do, and what's going on with the game and shit. Oh no, I'm not playing on fucking Pipeline. Yesterday I did a Q&A, and if you guys haven't seen that, go and check that out. So a couple days ago now, at this point, there was some sort of strange thing that happened, and you've probably seen it all over Twitter. A lot of people are tweeting about it, talking about it, making videos on it. I'm definitely a little bit late on this, but I pretty much always am. Alright, here we go. We're gonna hit a quad right off the start. Or hit mark a collat and, you know. I forgot how nice Exclusion Zone was. I know it wasn't, like, super flashy, but it's so nice. It's so weird to be on this high of a sensitivity and having aim assist and shit again. The only reason I'm playing MWR is so I can talk about this. To kind of just have, like, you know, an appropriate backdrop. So a couple days ago, there was a strange listing that appeared on Amazon, Amazon Italy, actually. It was listed as COD Mw2 Remastered, just like that. In that listing, it also said it was, like, 20 euros, which is, like, $25 in the US, which is already kind of weird and kind of cheaper than, you know, the entirety of, you know, MWR, for example. MWR, I think, was like $40 or something, but you got the entire multiplayer and the entire campaign. Some people are thinking that because this is saying that it's $25, it's probably only going to be multiplayer only, which is obviously completely fine with me because, you know, that's all I really play anyway. I've already played the campaign for, you know, all of these games, so. It said that it was coming out next month on the 30th, April 30th, 2018. Yeah, this year, literally just a month and a half away, apparently this game is supposed to come out. That already is kind of like a red flag to me because I feel like something this huge, they would have hyped this up. There is a guy on Twitter that has a pretty good track record of calling other remasters, how certain things are going to work. He's like an industry insider. I forget his name though, so I apologize. This guy gets all sorts of information all the time. He's been correct on multiple occasions. People were all talking about this, and he replied to somebody that tweeted and said that the game will be announced this month in March. And we only got like 2 weeks left of this month, so it's got to be coming soon if it's going to be announced. And then even if it is announced, it's just not really an Activision type of thing to do, in my opinion. It's just like they announce the game and then the game comes out just a month later. They usually like building this kind of thing up, but some people are saying that it's that way because they're afraid that it will take away a lot of the hype of Black Ops 4. When you start talking about all these ifs, ands, and buts, it just gets less and less likely that it's going to happen. It just kind of sounds like it's too good to be true. The game is coming out in a month and a half. It's only $25. Some people were also saying it doesn't make sense for it to come out this year. It would make sense for it to come out in 2019, not 2018, because this is not Infinity Ward's year. But what rule really says that an Infinity Ward remaster needs to come out in the exact order that, you know, an Infinity Ward game is coming out that year as well? Who says that each and every single old Call of Duty is going to get remastered? They might be only trying to remaster the games that are considered the best classics. And again, that's another might. None of this shit is set in stone, basically. The only thing that was ever set in stone for Call of Duty is that it comes out each and every single year in November, and that's already being changed this year by coming out a month early in October. So it wouldn't be that crazy to think that they would switch even more things up, but I just feel like it would just be too good to be true. It's just me. There's a few things supporting it, and basically if there's no confirmation, there's just more things doubting this thing's release than, you know, actually supporting it. But some people's credibilities are on the line, and I don't know. Another thing that kind of supports the whole thing, where it doesn't really matter which Call of Duty is being remastered with the company that's being made this year for the new Call of Duty. Raven does these remasters, and I feel like if Call of Duty's struggling enough, they're just gonna release everything that they have to try to bring the hype back to the game. MW2 and Black Ops 2, the biggest fan favorite Call of Duties of all time. COD 4 is obviously up there as well, but you could argue that definitely Black Ops 2 and MW2 are a little bit more successful. And I'm not saying that COD 4 was a flop or some shit like that. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think if anybody really wants a remaster, they're definitely going to want a remaster of either MW2 or Black Ops 2. That was even being discussed before MWR came out, this one. But let's just say this remaster is legit, right? A lot of people are putting polls out, and I'm kind of being surprised by the results here. Okay, I feel like at this point, after looking at the results, I'm probably in the minority. I have an unpopular opinion here. So MWR comes out, and this game obviously was not perfect. M16 absolutely ruled everything. There's Juggernaut, there's Last Stand, there's all that shit in there that everybody remembers back when they played the original COD 4, and they kind of had a unique outlook on things. So they added new weapons and stuff. Obviously, they added supply drops into the game. So new weapons, new camos, new things that were definitely updated to the game, but weapon balance in itself was never changed. They added new weapons, but they didn't change any of the weapons. They didn't nerf the M16. They didn't fix the one bug that was with the ACOG M40 that made it do more damage and almost guaranteed one-shots. Things like that. They said over and over and over again they didn't want to touch weapon values. They'll add new weapons, but not touch weapon values. They didn't want to change that aspect of the game. I mean, shit, look at this thing. This tac, the S-tac. This thing is a beast! My point being that when MW2, if and when it does come out, let's just say MW2 Remastered is 100% confirmed, okay? Let's just say today they just confirmed it, right? We already know from the start that they're going to add supply drops to this game, which is going to add new weapons to this game. Are they going to adjust the weapons? And probably the biggest question here is, are they going to touch touch the danger close one-man army noob tubes. Now, some people consider that as just part of the game. That's just how the perk works. But this was before Call of Duty really started making efforts to balance weapons and stuff like that. Back then, we didn't really get that many updates through Call of Duty. We just didn't really get much. They gave us what we got. They gave us the game and maybe adjusted a couple things, and they just left us there. They didn't really update us very much. Call of Duty over the years have gotten better and better at, you know, adjusting weapons anyway. And better as in they just, you know, pay more attention to it anyway. Doesn't mean that they always do a perfect job of, you know, balancing the weapons and stuff. They definitely pay more attention to the balance aspects. Whereas before, they just kind of shrugged their shoulders at all these super broken things in the game. Like one-man army noob tubes. Some people didn't even run danger close. They would run hardline with it. The explosives in the game were just that good. So some people were putting out polls. They were like, hey, Modern Warfare 2 was remastered. Do you want the noob tubes fixed? Do you want them fixed, or do you want to leave the game exactly how it was? And a lot of people, and I would say it was like a 60-40 split or so, generally, people were saying to leave it the exact same. People actually want to deal with the one-man army noob tubes. Now, these polls, I don't really know what kind of audience they were reaching out to. They weren't massive polls and stuff, and I'm sure if I put out a poll, I might get different results than other people because I have a different audience. It seems like a lot of the people that don't want these things changed were people that probably use the noob tubes and stuff. You know, they sat up on Red Roof and Terminal with one-man army danger close noob tubes, just sit around all day, noob tube all day, get multiple nukes a day, put it in their bios, and then, you know, go to work and school and talk about how many nukes they get in a day. I'm not clowning anybody, I just have friends that did the exact thing. A lot of people also, if they weren't noob tubers, and this is where I can kind of understand it, a lot of people are going to say that if you do touch the danger close noob tubes, if you do touch one-man army, if you do change all of these things, it's not going to be MW2 anymore. It's going to be a completely different game. Some people say that the supply drops and the new things and the changes that they made to MWR completely ruined it, and it's a mockery of COD 4. I personally didn't mind the changes that they made to this game. Obviously, I enjoy this S-TAC. A lot of people enjoyed the new assault rifles and SMGs and LMGs and shit that they added to the game. But also, a lot of people are complete purists, and they want the game to, you know, have its issues that it has because they want it to feel like, you know, the original game. It's a remaster. Then people started getting into the whole argument about how, like, oh, is it a remaster or is it a remake? I'm just saying right here, right now on Mw2 Remastered, they're going to change this game. I'm gonna almost guarantee that they're gonna classify the one-man army danger close noob tubes as an exploit, and I feel like that will get fixed. They'll make it so you can't pick the same class, or you can't put one-man army with noob tubes at the same time, something. They're not afraid to change these games. They're really not. You've seen what they've done with this game, just even right here, what I'm doing right now with this gun, with my secondary, with my melee weapon and everything. This is all brand new. This changes the game in itself already. If they're not afraid to change this game around, the classic COD 4, they're not afraid to change MW2. I just feel like one-man army danger close noob tubes is something that they're going to touch. And me personally, I don't really know if I want it nerfed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I just don't really know if I did. I'm thinking back to all of the times that I was screaming, raging, calling people all sorts of different names, arguing with them in game chat and shit, talking about how bad they were at the game and all this. Are they gonna have pre-patch models? Are they gonna put the models back to, you know, what they were after the patch? Like, what's gonna be going on here? Because there was a lot of shit that happened in the game. Care package glitch, by the way, that definitely has to get nerfed. That's an exploit. You gotta do some special shit in order to get it to work. I can see how some people could argue that the one-man army noob tubes is working as intended, but I mean, I don't even know. Do you think the noob tubes would get nerfed? If they are, should they get nerfed? Like, I don't know. You know, is that going to ruin the game? And also, the thing is, if they do ruin the game, like some people say that they ruined COD 4 with MWR, personally, I didn't think they did. I think they did a great job on MWR, but although I definitely have my gripes with it, I had a lot of fun on this game. So, like, I just get fucking lasered by this dude that was lagging his ass off. I know as soon as this video went up and they saw MWR and everything, they're like, ew, Call of Duty, what are you doing, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Fortnite and shit. And I know Call of Duty has had a bad rep for the past 3 or 4 years at this point. But I feel like even the people that hate on Call of Duty today, they definitely still have fond memories of playing MW2. That was probably a time where they considered, you know, when the game was at its peak. MW2, Black Ops 2, shit like that. People consider that the community's peak, everything. So it's kind of a discussion that I feel like a lot of people can kind of chime in on, talk about. And even if it's not going to happen this year, I just feel like we're kind of destined to get a remaster eventually, even if it's not this year. Although I would most definitely love for it to come out in a month and a half from now, it just doesn't seem likely to me. I really hope it does. I would love to eat my words. I swear I would. But it just seems too good to be true. I hope this video doesn't age well at all. I don't know, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Should noob tubes get nerfed? Is the whole thing real? Is it fake? If it is fake this year, is it coming out next year with an Infinity Ward game? Just let me know. My brain is telling me the most logical thing to happen is that this thing is fake. A remaster will happen, but it won't happen this year. It will happen next year with Infinity Ward, and they'll probably change a good amount of the game. It seems like the most likely, the dream scenario is that it does come out next month. We get to play it for 6 months, and then Black Ops 4 comes out. That seems super ideal for it it to come out in a month and a half. Play it for 6 months. Some people will get tired of it within that amount of time, but it'll still be fresh enough to where it's just not like Mw2 Remastered again. And then Black Ops 4 comes out and then it's refreshed again. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, you know, comment what you think. And yeah, it's been Jev, guys. Later. I got pussy in my